This time on Beat Up Builds, we let freedom ring. So for the longest time, I just had accepted the fact that this thing didn't have any supercharger whine. I had thought, because this is for a 6-cylinder, this supercharger, and I'm under driving it, that it just took the whine away from it. There just wasn't a lot of load on the rotors. And that's what I kind of accepted. I had everything running through the airflow meter into the stock airbox. Basically, I started out with stock fuel injection, and that worked, so I didn't mess with it. I always thought it would be a cool upgrade down the road to mess around with it, but it was the safe option for a daily driver. If I went off-road a little bit or something, I wouldn't suck up any water with this, or I'd be at least less likely. So I never really messed around with it. And then last video, curiosity got the best of me. And since I don't have this intake air temperature sensor up here, I'm able to take it off all the way to the throttle body. And that unleashed the beast. So this thing sounds fantastic with the throttle, just at the throttle body there. Unbelievable. Everything I always wanted this thing to sound like is what it sounded like. And I really want that sound. And I might be willing to give up some of that water resistance to gain that sound, because it sounds amazing. So that's what we're going to work on today. We're going to figure out how to get this to work. Let me cut to a clip. I'm going to do a clip of it going through everything. Then I'm going to do a clip of it disconnected, so there won't be any airflow meter or air box. And then I'll cut to last week's clip of this removed at the throttle body, just to show a difference between all those. And we're going to figure out what's going to package the best under here and sound cool and hopefully not suck a lot of water. My apologies if I sound awful. I've got the flu or a cold or something, but this idea is just so cool and I'm really excited about it that I'm just fighting through it. So I apologize if I sound completely awful. But anyway, I got this Amazon open element air filter, I think is what they call it. And maybe we can use this to make this all happen. This should fit on the throttle body. Maybe we can go right on the throttle body. I'm not sure. I have some ideas. I'm going to take it all apart and just try and figure it out real quick and give you a quick update once I figure out what I'm doing. I'm still not sure what I want to do. Let me get this out of the way. Idea one would be get all this stuff out of the way so there's really nothing on the valve cover. Cut this shorter so maybe it starts there. And then the air filter sits back that way. But the problem is, this is 6 inches right here, and it's going to be a tough fit. I would have to maybe cut this rib out and have the air box. I would have to have an air box here, have it go up against there and have basically no structure there. Not a great option. Option B of option 1 would be maybe use this air filter out of here. It's flat. And maybe make a custom box and ducts that go up into the hood. Sounds like a lot of work. Would be cool to use the hood scoop, but probably not a good option, unfortunately. I wish it was. Option 2 is probably forget that and use this. I think I want to try and delete this, and maybe I can just do like a coupler here and into a 90, and then get rid of the air box and try and just attach this filter on. So I think I'm going to try and do that without majorly modifying anything. See how it sounds, and then go from there, figure out if I can do some kind of airbox or something, or I don't know, something to keep the hot air from that header away from this open element filter, because the supercharger makes tons of hot air. The colder air we could get, the better this is going to be. Let's try that and see where we get. We're pretty committed now in getting rid of this piece because I pulled it off and I ripped it. Junk. I've got something going on. I'm going to reuse this piece. The coupler that was down here, I'm going to put up here. This doesn't touch anything, and I checked. It doesn't hit the hood, so that's good. And then so far, I've taken some spare exhaust tubing and I've created this thing. And I did ground the inside out, so that way it flows halfway decent. Then there's no crap floating up into my intake, which is probably more important. Excuse me. And this is flanged, so if I weld here, I don't have to worry about crap being in here because it'll be welded way up here. So that was kind of my thought process there. And this will go something like this, a little piece of straight pipe and the air filter here. And then we'll start that up, see how that sounds, and then investigate and see if we can do anything to maybe make an air box or a duct or something to keep the hot air from the engine from getting over here. All right, I think that's it. It fits good, nothing's rubbing. There's a little bit of wiggle room here. And yeah, let's start it up. It's late at night, so I'm probably just gonna rev it twice so the neighbors don't kill me. And if it sounds cool, then we can start thinking about like making something to keep the hot air away from this air filter. All right, I think that sounded pretty cool. It's definitely louder than the stock airbox as it is right now. So I'm kind of on the fence. It's pretty late at night. I might make a temporary mount just to hold that end and run some errands tomorrow, see how I like it. And maybe start thinking about an airbox. So I guess let's try and make a super duper temporary mount. Okay, I got my mount made up. It's just some spare metal I had laying around, drilled 2 holes in it. It was already bent close. And this is an exhaust clamp that I had laying around. And that's got everything. Let me try and hold the camera and do this. It's got everything pretty solid. I feel very confident driving around like that. So I'm going to take it for a rip tomorrow, run my errands, do what I need to do on Saturday. And we'll go from there. Let's see how it works out. Hopefully it sounds really cool. I don't know. Let's find out. All right, it's the morning. Let's run our errands and see how this thing sounds. That sounded amazing. Everything I ever wanted. It sounds exactly how I dreamed when I started this project, and I've been so disappointed it never sounded like that, and now we fixed it. So I'm pretty excited about that. Right now, without any airbox, the intake air temperature is about the same as it was
which I did remove. There's kind of like a little horn on the front of that airbox that kind of tries to duct it to the front. And so it was, I would say it was sucking similar temperature air as what that airbox was. But I think we should try and build an airbox and try and get as cool of air as possible in here. But I'm going to save that for next time. I feel awful, and let's just cut it there. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.